You are now listening to the Fighting Back Podcast, and here's your host, Jessica Travis. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Fighting Back Podcast. I am Patricio and joined by Jessica Travis. Jessica, how you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. You ready to do another Sidebar episode?
Let's do it.
All right, so what are we talking about today?
We are talking about AI's hallucinations.
What did AI take? Why is AI hallucinating? What's going on?
So that is a word I recently everybody came up with. I told somebody, I was like, their AI is hallucinating, and they're like, what does that mean? What is a hallucination?
Mm-hmm.
But it is the word to describe when AI makes things up.
AI tends to do that a couple of times.
Specifically, when we're talking about the legal field, when AI makes up cases.
Mm-hmm.
So legit, AI will say Smith versus Jones in 41, Southern 3rd, 581, 2nd DCA, 2025.
Makes it sound right, but it isn't right.
And you're like, oh, that sounds like a real citation. And then they'll say, in this case, this is what happened, and here's what the judge ordered. And you're like, okay, yeah, no, that sounds great. And then come to find out, all of that was made up.
Oh, man.
Not a single thing. So I wanted to kind of talk about this episode just to go through those situations when attorneys and pro se individuals have filed pleadings, have filed motions with these made-up cases, and what's happened.
Okay. All right.
So I will start by saying this. I asked Chatty.
Now, to clarify, Chatty is basically
ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm, and that's what we call him around the office, right?
We call Chatty Chat, yes. So I asked Chatty to help me out. I said, Chatty, find me some cases where AI hallucinated, where those attorneys or pro se litigants used those hallucinated cases, and the court issued sanctions.
So you were basically asking Chatty to check itself.
I said, yeah.
In a sense.
Find me some of those cases.
Okay.
Do you know what Chatty did?
What did Chatty do?
Chatty gave me 3 cases, and all 3 were hallucinated.
Even after you said not to do.
Even after. And I said, give me the citations. Please give me citations for these 3 cases that you just cited for me so I can look them up myself.
Mm-hmm.
And the citations that were given were all to broken websites, were all to fake things.
Huh.
So I even then responded back to Chatty and said, Chatty, did you just hallucinate these 3 cases that you gave me? Chatty thought for about 45 seconds and said, you're right to call that out. Thank you. I misstated some details and gave some imprecise cites.
Now, you see, that's both funny and scary all at the same time.
Very scary, right?
Yeah, because a lot of society nowadays is relying on AI to alleviate the stress of creativity or production in a sense. And for an attorney to ask those kind of things where, a lot is on the line, that's scary. And if the right attorney isn't looking into these citations, into these cases, then they're going to hurt the case, right?
Well, so here's the whole point of it. Attorneys have used these hallucinated cases in briefs, in motions. They've filed them with the court, and the judge finds out about it. And there's 3 cases, which I found real cases after Chatty and I had this conversation about hallucinated cases.
Mm-hmm.
Chatty gave me 3 real cases.
Okay.
In which the court ordered that the attorneys had to pay sanctions. They had to pay in the Southern District of New York in 2023. The court ordered the attorneys pay a $5,000 sanction and send a copy of the sanctions order to each of the real judges that were cited in the fake cases in that motion.
So for not fact checking or double checking, they got cited and fined on all this.
Correct. Middle District of Georgia in 2025, the Southern District of Florida in 2025. In all of these cases, the attorney had filed motions that had these fake cases in them, and the court ordered sanctions of thousands of dollars and made the attorneys take a CLE, and oftentimes made the attorneys send this order to a lot of other judges, basically ruining their reputation.
Oh, man.
Right. And I'll tell you this, as I was looking up these cases, what I found, it's not just attorneys. there have been pro se litigants. So let me start by saying this: in the law, pro se litigants, or people who represent themselves, are held to the same standard as an attorney when they're representing themselves.
Could you just say that one more time for people? Because,
Very important.
yeah.
So if you are representing yourself, if you're a pro se litigant, the court is going to hold you to the same standard as if you were an attorney, which means procedurally, you have to file within all of the deadlines and time frames that an attorney does. You have to file the proper motions. You have to cite the proper case law. And if you cite hallucinated cases, so this one case in the Southern District of Florida, 2025, a pro se plaintiff, a person representing themselves, used AI to draft motions, hallucinated those cases, and the court dismissed the case because they were held to that standard and had filed with the court these cases that didn't exist.
And usually, like in these kind of cases, when they represent themselves, like they tend to do like deep dive and get everything as possible, all the information needed for it. But like relying on AI with this, oh man, that is a bad turn for those cases. I'm sorry.
And here's the thing, when you're using AI, it's no defense to say, oh, I'm sorry, it was AI's fault. ChatGPT gave me the wrong cases, or I didn't know. Those aren't defenses for sanctions, for dismissal, for all of those things. In every one of those cases, the attorney and the person representing themselves said, oh, Judge, I didn't know that this case was made up. It sounded so real. Not a defense. Still got sanctions. And again, sanctions aren't the only thing. It's not just money that you have to pay for. That judge is ordering that you send that order to all of the other judges and everybody else. So your reputation is ruined by that.
Wow.
Yep.
I use, like I said, I use AI on a lot of things when it comes, daily operations, personal life, things like that. I've always tried my best to look at the product once it's finished, because, like, yes, sometimes the product itself does sound a bit too chatty. But give it that human touch here and there. But for these attorneys to rely on it so much and disregard their proper procedure and due diligence, I mean, that's on them. I'm sorry.
Well, I think so. Attorneys are trained to research and to analyze cases, to know where to find cases and to know what they mean, and then how to present them to a judge in a persuasive manner.
Yeah.
So I think part of this comes in that some attorneys get lazy, right? Some attorneys think that I'm just going to have AI draft it for me so I don't have to spend the time doing it. That's a huge problem, and that's why they're getting sanctioned. But the other thing is, I think people who represent themselves, they think that if AI creates a document for them and cites these cases for them, I don't even know if those pro se individuals know where to go to find out if those cases that are cited are actually true, right? I think that's the huge problem, is having non-lawyers draft these documents where AI is just making up the law, making up cases, making up statutes. And then the person representing themselves doesn't even have enough training to know where to fact check that.
Yeah. No, like, I've been in this field now going on 12 years, and I have a certain understanding. So I know exactly where to look, what to ask and things like that. But in this kind of case where someone has zero legal background, zero legal experience, you're kind of going in their blind faith and presenting these documents, which sometimes it tends to blow up in their face.
So it's definitely something I would recommend if somebody's thinking of representing themselves or thinking of drafting documents on their own to submit to the court, just to think twice about it. I think AI is a very powerful tool, but it can also mess up and cause pretty serious consequences for the person using it.
Yeah. And I mean, over the past few years, these last 2 years, AI has become a lot better. in regards to its generation, but generation of images and things like that. But in regards to legal documents, yeah, stick to it. Stick to the real thing, right?
Absolutely.
That'd be your pro tip for anyone listening?
That would might be my pro tip, yes.
All right, with that being said, thank you so much, Jessica, for your time, and your knowledge, and we will see you guys later.
Take care.
Thank you so much for listening. If you found this episode helpful or informative, don't forget to follow us on social media and share this podcast with your friends. Like, follow, subscribe so you never miss a show, and help others know their rights by spreading the word. Your support helps us keep fighting back. The information provided in the Fighting Back podcast is for general informational purposes only and is not intended as legal advice. Every case is unique and should be reviewed by a qualified attorney who can provide guidance based on the specific facts and circumstances of your case. Listening to this podcast does not create an attorney-client relationship with Fighter Law or any of its attorneys. If you are facing any legal issue, we strongly encourage you to consult with a licensed attorney directly.